The meeting will please come to order. Hello, everyone. Today is Thursday, November the 17th. I am Trippy Congo, President of Wilmington City Council. And on behalf of all of my colleagues, I would like to thank everyone who has joined us in council chambers as well as virtually. Just as a friendly reminder for public comment, there is a Google form sign-up link in the chat for anyone who would like to speak, and public comment will take place after non-legislative business. We're going to begin with an opening prayer by Akira Granado.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle the affairs of our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety. Keep us out of harm's way and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in all our endeavors. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. This time we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we go any further, I would just like to have a moment of silence for Councilwoman Linda Gray, who was taken from us earlier this week suddenly. So we just want to honor her and have a moment of silence. Thank you. This time the clerk will please call for the roll.
Councilwoman Darby,
Present.
Councilwoman Oliver,
Present.
Councilwoman Harley,
Present.
Councilwoman Fields,
Present.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Here.
Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Field,
Present.
Councilwoman Cabrera, Councilman Mills,
Present.
Councilman Spadola,
Present.
President Congo.
Here.
10 present, 1 absent, and 1 absent.
This time we'll have the reading of the minutes from the previous meeting.
November 3rd, 2022, City Council met in regular session with remote participation. The above date at 6:30 p.m. President Ernest M. Congo II presiding. The opening prayer was done by Akira Granado, Deputy City Clerk. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited by City Council. The following members responded to the call of the
Mr.
roll.
President, I move the minutes be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. This time we will have our committee reports.
November 7, 2022, President, members of Council, City of Wilmington, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee, met by anchor location of remote participation, to whom was referred ordinance number 22041 entitled, an ordinance to require the creation, publication, and maintenance of a revised City of Wilmington organizational chart. I've given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present: Councilman Johnson, Councilwoman Harley, Councilman Nathan Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, and President Congo.
Mr. President, I move for the committee report to be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that committee report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. This time we'll have our city treasurer's report.
November 17, 2022, total investment, $511,400,147.70. Total cash on hand, $12,561,405.23. Grand total, $523,961,552.93. Submitted by Dwayne Sims, City Treasurer.
Mr. President, I move the treasurer's report to be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the treasurer's report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I'll accept the motion to move to accept all non-legislative business.
So move. Second.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to accept all non-legislative business on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Do any council members have any recognitions this evening?
Yes, I do, Mr. President.
Councilmember Fields may come forward.
So tonight I will be recognizing St. Matthew's Grand Chapter of the Order of Eastern Star, Prince Hall affiliation. Thank you. Beautiful and handsome. November 17th, 2022. Sponsor, Councilmember Brigida A. Fields. Whereas it is the sense of City Council to honor individuals and organizations who have demonstrated outstanding achievement and are deserving of recognition and acknowledgement, Councilmember Brigida Fields wishes to recognize the St. Matthew's Grand Chapter of the Order of Eastern Star, Prince Hall Affiliation, PHA, for 100 years of service to our community. And whereas the Order of Eastern Star is an organization that is steeped in tradition and has a long history of community service, since its creation, it has pursued a mission to make a positive difference in the world with charitable works, lasting friendships, and a loving kindness to all mankind. And whereas individually and collectively, members have been involved in and served on boards and committees that support services for the elderly, our youth, the infirm, and fire and flood victims. They also participate in mentoring and tutoring programs that provide scholarships to deserving college students. With a vision to support all persons and organizations within their community, they have provided assistance to numerous organizations, including the Neighborhood House, local senior centers, libraries, veterans associations, the Salvation Army, and health-related endeavors, such as those aimed at addressing cancer, heart disease, autism, and Alzheimer's disease. And whereas the wives, mothers, sisters, widows, and daughters of Master Masons were inspired by the Brothers of the Most Worshipful Harriman Grand Lodge and wished to become a part of the adoptive rite, Miss Retha A.B. Taylor called the ladies together and began the process of requesting permission to form Ada Chapter Number 1. Within 1 year, 3 additional chapters of dedicated members had formed chapters in the first state. And whereas on March 15th, 1922, the first Order of Eastern Star chapter was established in the state of Delaware, and the name St. Matthew's was selected for this grand chapter. Over the past century, the more than 4,000 members within the 9 chapters of the St. Matthew's Grand Chapter have gone on to serve our city and state as well as internationally. Now, therefore, be resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that this legislative body is pleased to commend the St. Matthew's Grand Chapter of the Order of Eastern Star, PA. We wish them many years of continued progress and service. Deputy Clerk Akira Grenard. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Lloyd Stats Jr. I am the Grand Associate Patron of St. Matthew's Grand Chapter, Order of the Eastern Star. The Grand Worthy Patron was unable to make it this evening, so he sent me. So with me this evening is it gives me my pleasing duty to introduce to you the sister who leads St. Matthew's Grand Chapter in the name of Marcia Perry, the Grand Worthy Matron. Sister Deborah Wright, the Grand Associate Matron. Brother Jeffrey Chandler, a past Grand Patron. And Brother Kenny Robinson, he's a past Grand patron, and also the president of the past Grand Council. We thank you for this acknowledgement, and we look forward to serving the city of Wilmington as long as we can.
Just before you leave, we just have a few comments from council members. Council member Oliver.
Yes, just want to say congratulations. My Aunt Ruth was part of the Eastern Stars for years, Ruth Cone. So this really brings me pleasure. And thank you, Councilman Brigida Fields. Good job. Thank you. I want to get up and hug y'all, but I'm not.
Council member Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to say congratulations to you as well on your 100th year. And I did not know until I listened to the resolution tonight that you started here in Wilmington. So that definitely was new information for me. And so that is an honor in itself. And I also want to say that my sister Beverly Williams is also an Eastern Star. And I will make sure that I let her know that y'all showed up and you showed out and look beautiful tonight. Mm-hmm. And again, congratulations and thank you, Councilmember Brigida Fields.
And I would just like to thank you for all of your community service, for all the different scholarships and fundraisers, and just always giving back to the city of Wilmington. Thank you so much.
Yes. Mr. President,
Yes,
I have a
Councilmember
recognition.
Councilmember Harley.
Okay, I'm going to ask Councilmember Oliver to please join me at the podium. Hello and good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to start off by saying that it is truly a pleasure and it's indeed an honor for me to present this recognition on tonight. Do we have Mr. Pritchett on the line?
Yes, he's on.
Okay. All right, great. And I also want to know if there's any family here in the chambers? Any family or friends? Okay, I'm going to ask, would you like to join us up here at the podium? Okay, so while he's on his way up here to join us, I just want to say that the way that this even came about was over a year and a half ago when Dan Shelton, who is the superintendent of the Christina School District, held his first community meeting to talk about the new Bancroft School. At that particular meeting, we had a diverse group of people from the community at that particular meeting. We had, of course, current faculty and staff. There were retired educators there. There were students that had graduated from Bancroft many years ago, and it was just a plethora of stakeholders in that particular meeting on that night. After the meeting, a number of people gathered to just talk about the excitement of having a new school built, number one, and a new school built over on the east side. And in those conversations, people were just talking about different individuals that had made an impact on the children, that had an impact on the staff, and had an impact on Bancroft in general. And one of the things that I noticed was that in most of those conversations and silos that were being discussed about memories of Bancroft, about how different teachers, principals, and etc. had made an impact on everyone, Mr. Maurice Pritchett's name came up over and over again. And after that particular meeting, myself and Councilmember Oliver began to talk about how we wanted to continue the conversation from what we had heard at that particular meeting. So Councilwoman Oliver, who represents the 3rd District, and of course I represent the 4th District of the East Side, She began to share the information with the residents on the 3rd District side at Stubbs School, and I began to share the information with residents on the east side at the Ezion Mount Carmel Church, where the 4th District Civic Association, where they hold their meetings. So we have continued the conversation around what and how can we honor Mr. Pritchett. So there is a continuing conversation going on with the petition as it relates to what many of those individuals were talking about after the meeting, as well as residents from the community. But one of the things that we had discussed here recently was how many of our colleagues had passed suddenly, and how we really do have to give people their flowers while they can smell them. And the reason why I'm saying that is because what is to come in the future is about a year or two away from today and right now. So we decided, instead of us waiting for that to come into fruition in terms of Mr. Maurice Pritchett's name, how it's going to be honored on the school, in the gym, or in the auditorium, we decided that we wanted to give him some flowers while he can still smell them, because none of us know what tomorrow may bring. So having said that, we decided that we wanted to give him his flowers, and we decided that we wanted to do it tonight. So the sponsor of this recognition resolution tonight is Councilmember Michelle Harley and Councilmember Cynthia Oliver. November the 17th, 2022. Whereas it is the sense of City Council to honor individuals who have demonstrated outstanding achievement and are deserving of recognition and acknowledgement. Maurice Pritchett Sr. is one such individual. And whereas Mr. Pritchett's distinguished career as an educational administrator started on Wilmington's east side, where he spent his childhood. He graduated from Howard High School, where he played basketball for the Wildcats. He went on to attend Delaware State College, now Delaware State University. In 1965, he received his Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education, and in 1974, he received his master's degree in educational administration. Upon graduation, Maurice accepted a position as vice principal in Bancroft Elementary School in Wilmington, Delaware, where he attended as a child. He went on to serve as principal for 35 years.
And whereas during the time at Bancroft, he co-sponsored National Capital League basketball program, which served as a haven for elementary age children and after-school programs. He created innovative programs with the very teachers who taught him as a child. In addition, Mr. Pritchett has also served at Albert Elementary School in Wilmington, Sussex County, and Maryland School District, and many more.
Whereas Mr. Pritchett is also the CEO of Pritchett Associates and a well-decorated leader in the community who has received numerous accolades. In 1995, he was presented with the State of Delaware's National Distinguished Principal Award in Washington, D.C. by then Secretary of Education Richard W. Riley. Maurice attributes his success to those who mentored him during his tough childhood years, such as Nathan Doc Hill, a community leader at the YMCA, who helped him to obtain a scholarship to attend college. Hill and other community leaders are the reason why Mr. Pritchett has such a passion for serving his community, paying it forward, and giving back. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that this council is pleased to commend Maurice Pritchett Sr. for the outstanding commitment and dedication of service that he continues to provide to his community. Mr. Pritchett, thank you so much for all of your contributions. We thank you for being a principal, an outstanding principal for many years, a mentor, a father, and a friend to many. So at this time, we're going to allow you to have comments.
Good evening. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank City Council for the time they spent on research on me. I'm quite impressed. However, I wanted to make sure that everyone understands those 35 years were done only because I cared about the community and I cared about people like Xanthia Oliver and her family who supported me during those time periods, was 7th, 8th, and 9th. And I just felt that the commitment was given to me by all of my role models, such as Nathan Doc Hill, that I wanted to give back the same way. And that's what I did. And so I'm very happy to be honored this evening. And it really makes me feel good to know that people really appreciate what you were doing. It wasn't about trying to become some special celeb. It was about trying to make sure our community see what it deserved. So thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Pritchett. And we do have Brother Mohammed Salam here in the chambers. And at this time, he's going to have some comments as well.
Oh my, it's beautiful.
My brother, love you.
My brother.
This brother has been such a light and example in our community of being a humble servant of Almighty God. I know he's still humble by saying that, but he taught every one of my children. I have a 50-year-old daughter who was the assistant to the president of the communications workers in the United States, Mr. Pritchett. I have a son who is director of cultural affairs and park and recreation, student council in Kutztown College, who's a graduate of Kutztown College, Kutztown Hall of Fame. I have a daughter who's in Delaware Sports Hall of Fame, who left here holding 24 state titles, who's a graduate of Florida State. I have a son who is now the entrepreneur of Pyramid Punch, who was attended Lincoln University. I had 7 children who graduated from school and 5 graduated from college because of you. You have been a beacon and a light, a father, a living example in our community. You light up the way for our future young politicians, male and females in this chamber, to be that example. We love you dearly as a father. We love you dearly as a community leader, and we love you dearly as an example that Almighty God has given us. On the east side, never let it be said that nothing is not produced from the east side. You were one of the organizer and producers of all of our children, and we applaud you tonight. Thank God for you.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank Mr. Pritchett. I'm not going to get emotional, but I have a large family. It's 9 of us. All of us graduated from high school. 6 of us graduated from college, and the remaining graduated from secondary school. Mr. Pritchett taught all of us. Words can't explain how much I love Mr. Pritchett. I call him my godfather. And I think Brother Muhammad said it best. I love Mr. Pritchett and his wife. I mean, they have been and meant so much to the East Side community. Mr. Pritchett used to live on Poplar Street, and that's where I live now, so I really feel good about that. But Miss Pritchett, I see you right there, and I love you so much. I worked for them for years. And when I tell you, you talk about a husband and wife that just have served the community. Even at the return, they still do community work for our youth throughout the state of Delaware. So I love you both. God bless you.
God bless you, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you for those beautiful words and beautiful comments. Greatly appreciate them.
Thanks again.
And the work that you're doing, all of you are doing in the community.
Councilmember Mills.
Yes, Mr. President. Just wanted to say to Mr. and Mrs. Pritchard, thank you for everything you've done. My family loves and when it speaks of you in high esteem. They're always talking about, the work that you've did, not just in the community years ago, but the work you guys continue to do. You're truly examples. And the role that you've put into helping our children receive a quality education, not just in Wilmington, but up and down the state, in Maryland as well. I truly respect you and the principles that you and your family stand on. And I truly thank you. And just being a young man who grew up in Wilmington, going to these schools, I know the battles that you fought, and I appreciate it. And I just want to take this time to say thank you for everything you've done and everything you continue to do. And keep up the great work. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Take the comments.
Councilmember Fields.
Yes, I just want to say congratulations. God bless you. And thank you for leading the way for us here in City Council and the citizens of Wilmington. Thank you. God bless you. And we're going to continue your legacy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Very nice.
Yes, and Mr. and Mrs. Pritchard. Everything has already been said, but I just want to take just a few moments just to thank you both for everything that you have done for the city, for me, and for my family. Mr. Pritchard, you are always pushing me just to go further and do more, and I really appreciate that. And I just thought, I was hoping that you were going to be here in council chambers so that we could, just kick it like we did back when we were both on Channel 28. We used to have some good times. But it's great to see both of you, and just God bless both of you. Thank you.
Well, thank you too. You've been doing a great job.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Leadership has really been expressed really by a lot of people. And you've hung in the fight, and you've mastered the fight. And I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, I don't think we have any more presentations. I would like to add to the agenda results to recognition resolution for Nor Enterprise Turkey Drive giveaway sponsored by all of council, and a sympathy resolution for Gordon Sanders sponsored by Councilmember McCoy. We are going to move to public comment. And this is a friendly reminder for public comment that there is a Google Form sign-up link in the chat for anyone who would like to speak. Your time frame is around 3 minutes. Please do not direct any council members directly, but please direct all of your comments towards me as the president. First, we are going to call for Harold Gray, husband of former council member Linda Gray.
Good evening, council members. Good evening, Mr. President. Thank you very much for this opportunity to say a few words. I want to start, and the principal reason I'm here is I want to say thank you to this council. I want to say thank you to the mayor's office, and I also want to say thank you to the city as well as the community in Delaware and Christiana Care. For those of you who don't know, Linda contracted a walking pneumonia, which was not apparent from symptoms that she exhibited. And I talked to the doctors about this a little bit, and they said that healthy folks sometimes experience symptoms that they believe are perhaps a cold or an allergy or maybe even a touch of the flu. But sometimes those symptoms are a little more insidious. And in Linda's case, when she arrived at the hospital and they took a CT scan, they realized that she had quite a serious case of pneumonia in her lungs. And Christiana did everything they could over the course of 4 to 5 days to save her, but it was unsuccessful. And so everyone is grieving. I also miss her, but I'm the luckiest guy on the planet in terms of having 55 years of wonderful experiences and memories of my wife. And we've been married for 51 years, and so clearly I'm going to miss her. And I'm in a pragmatic place right now because you may not also know that since the 1st of November, she was hit in 2 separate vehicles by 2 separate drivers and 2 separate cars that were both towed away from the scene. And she walked away completely unscathed. So I think God really wanted to take her back. He only loaned her to me for the time that I was with her, but he wanted to take her back, and he was not going to be denied the 3rd time. And so I think we all have to accept the outcome under these circumstances, and it's painful for sure. But I got to tell you, the amount of love that's come my way and the amount of support that people are standing in the void and helping me to work through these circumstances, this pragmatic place isn't going to last forever. I know one day when we have 20 inches of snow outside and we're trapped in our houses and I go around and start looking for who's there, I'm going to miss her. It's going to completely change my circumstance. So we'll all miss Linda, and, you know, under these circumstances, I simply ask that, you know, she's left her fingerprints on this community. And so I'd ask this council to simply take good care of those fingerprints. I hope that the at-large members will slip into the void to continue uninterrupted service to the 1st District and the rest of the community. And the only other thing I can say is we have made arrangements. They're moving forward quite well under these circumstances. And I'm trying to keep my regular routine of working out, eating right, and making sure that I'm taking care of myself. And so I'm a little bit tired, and tonight I might sleep longer than I have in the past couple of nights. But thank you all very much for the support, the consideration, and the love that we have received as a result of Linda having graced us with her presence on the planet. Mr. Chair, Mr. President, thank you very much. That's all I have to say. I did accept one thing. There will be a viewing for Linda at the Chase Center from 4 to 7 p.m. on Monday. So if you have the opportunity, please stop by. Thank you, Mr. President.
Next, we will have Deacon Errol Tate.
I give my condolence to the Gray family, and also I'd like to thank you. Congratulate to all of those candidates that made it in. I want to see you now working together as one to make this city, this county, this state, this United States of ours, bring it back together and make it much more better than it ever has been. I want to thank you, and I want to say, work together, all of us, work together as one, and remember, you're not only representing yourself, but you're representing the people that put you there. All right? That's one of the things. But the next thing is the very important thing. I know how it is being hit, knocked down, and dragged 30 feet or more on third by a car. And this weekend there was 2 accidents that happened around my way, right on the corner of where I be at on 26 and Jessup. Thank God that there was no kids out there. Thank God that the kids didn't have no school Saturday and Monday evening. But those 2 accidents that happened, one of them happened on 26th Street, and one of them happened on Jessup Street. But can't you see these drivers now? They take their driver's ed and then and then they get out on the road and drive like a bat racing to get to its grave. But they don't pay no attention to the sign, nor the lights. We here in the city, we the people of Wilmington are demanding that something be done. Some speed bumps and all need to be put out there. To slow these people down and to make them stop and realize that the life that they save may be that of their own, and may be their kids' life too, because if you could remember, hey, your life could be snuffed out like that, but we got to stop and look and listen, because if the kids are going to be our future for tomorrow, we got to stop and make sure that they're here for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have D. Marquis Hall.
Right. Good evening. This morning, I had on green for Jarena Green, and I put on gray for Linda Gray. When I would stand up here and I had a public comment to make, and I was taking a little bit too long to say what it was that I had to say, longer than 3 minutes. If it was important enough, I don't know ways feel that. I don't know. I don't know if I should stop. Always look right there to see if she motioned for me to go off. Because sometimes I can go off the wrong way, and I can be taken the wrong way, and the message can be lost. I thank God for her. I thank God for her life. I invited a member of my community, of our community, who she helped, who didn't live in her district, because other people who she called on couldn't help her, didn't help her, wouldn't help her. She's called me to help me. And she helped the whole community. Delaware Poor People's Campaign, she donated to. Because that's the fiduciary. Delaware Center for Justice. All the legislation that she made so that people could come up here and give public comment, almost unhindered compared to what it was. So that people can voice their concerns, so that they could talk about what it was that the community really needed. Because this is all about family. Her husband just got up here and spoke. I don't know how he does that. I don't know how he does that. We got to lean on each other. We got to reach out. We have to be interdependent. We have to depend on each other sometimes. That's something that's not understood in our world of rugged individualism. I ran into Vash Turner earlier today, who used to sit right there. And we know he's in a wheelchair. This was up on 10th Street. He was going into Deco. And he asked me if I had the votes. He said, "You got the 7?" My name's Devon Hall, if y'all don't know that. And I live in the 3rd District on what used to be Poplar Street. Same street as Mrs. Oliver, same street Mr. Pritchett lived in. I'm 35 years old. He taught for 35 years. I didn't know his whole story, but I know that the community loves that man and they want that school to be named after him. That was amazing to see. One thing that is really depressing about my story is the fact that I've never had a black male teacher. I've never had a black man, a man who was my color, the same color as me, in front of the room, showing me the way to go. I've never had that in my life. I thank God for Mr. Pritchett and all the men like him, everybody that was able to raise up strong men, strong children, strong families. And I thank God for all of you doing the right thing here today. And I thank God for every representative that we have in our community that's doing the best that they can for us to grow, to live, and to be the best that we can be. I think about the house that needed the bathroom repaired. I think about Linda Gray making the call to make sure that the mayor's office did what they said that they were going to do, make sure that money goes to where it needs to go. And I don't have her to tell me to go, to tell me that that's enough, but I'm going to go now. And I thank God for you guys, and I thank God for you, and I pray that things go the right way. God bless you.
Thank you. Next we have C. Brumby.
Good evening, City Council, Mr. President.
Good evening.
I got a formal complaint about City of Wilmington. I was a City of Wilmington operated for over 15 years, and they're denying me of my pension. For what cause? They said I forfeited it, but I want to know, you'll get to the bottom of it, but how did I do that? And I would like for your City Council to help me find out. So, by me saying that, Mr. President, I would like you further to look into my situation and see can we resolve it. And I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We do have your contact information.
You have a telephone number?
Yes.
Okay.
Next we have
Chelsea.
Brother Salam.
Good evening, President, City Council members. Three things in 3 minutes. One, Ms. Gray and her husband I've known for years. I met her when she was in the Attorney General's office. And I established a great association relationship with them. And he is right. Nothing happens without permission of Almighty God. Nothing. Sometimes it's how we see and understand a thing that we have in our midst angels who don't know they're angels. People, servants that don't know who they are, but they dare to do a job and affect and impress many people in our society. So we need to value them and understand them, that they were just simply public servants to do a job among humanity, among all human beings. I think that's the way we should value and appreciate our brother, and how he did it, because he's a person of faith and spirituality. Because we know that nothing happens without permission of Almighty God, that she's in a better place than we ever could perceive. Second, with Mr. Pritchett, as I said already, here for him all my life. As I moved here from Philadelphia, I lived on Lombard Street for 42 years before I moved to Newark. And as I said, he has been a pillar of light and a real example for the East Side and all the educators on the East Side. And he would be a prime example for, as the brother said, male leadership and fathers in our community. Because leadership is very important. First of all, God makes us. We don't make ourselves. That's simple struggles that come with us and are developing, whether we are teenagers, young adults, and actually getting old. You know, Scripture says you're not a man till you're 40. And so all along that line, we don't understand that God is still making us, cultivating us in our strengths and our potentials. Last, Chelsea, as it came before you, I was vice president of Local 320 during the time that he was employed by the city of Wilmington. And in the pension funds, you invested in your pension fund. If you got sick and you were out and you came back, and if you retired for whatever reason, they said you was not qualified to draw your pension. So where did the pension money go to? And so he's back to say after he came back, he was denied his pension. So this is one of the reasons why I'm also there to support him, because I was the vice president then for Local 320 at that time. He was an employee. And there is a concern. Where's the pension for those who retired, those who's passed on, and how's that invested in the city of Wilmington and for the employees who were employed by the city and for some reason were sick or dismissed and would not receive their pension? So I thank you for your time. My 3 minutes is up. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. WITN, do we have any virtual public comment? Okay, thank you. Just so the council and the public knows that we are going to have an official tribute to Councilmember Gray at our next meeting on December the 1st. At this time, we are going to move to legislative business. Councilmember Darby.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 22-045, Agenda 0230, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 22031 to allow community support grants from the temporary city council special fund to be made to for-profit small businesses to mitigate financial hardship arising from the COVID-19 pandemic.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 22031 to allow community support grants from the temporary city council special fund to be made to for-profit small businesses to mitigate financial hardship arising from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Second reading of the ordinance. Councilmember Darby, you may proceed.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
I have nothing else for tonight, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Oliver.
Yes, Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Ordinance 22041, Agenda 0234, an ordinance to require the creation, publication, maintenance of a revised City of Wilmington organizational chart.
Mr. President, I have a substitute to present in lieu of the ordinance.
Substitute number 1 to ordinance number 22041, revision 1 to agenda 0234, an ordinance to amend chapter 2 of the city code to require the creation, publication, and maintenance of a revised City of Wilmington organizational chart.
Mr. President, I move this be known enacting clause of the substitute ordinance and call for a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the enacting clause of the substitute ordinance and call for a yea and nay vote on the question.
Yes, Mr. President, this substitute ordinance provides a revised organizational chart for the City of Wilmington that includes photos for of City Council, the Mayor's Office, Treasurer's, Order and Audit Administration Department, heads, divisions, and directors, and all boards and commission. This is just a being about some transparency and unnecessary frustration when people are trying to reach various people at departments.
Councilmember Johnson.
I'm glad to be a co-sponsor of this ordinance. I appreciate Councilmember Oliver for bringing this to everyone's attention, as there are many themes of our session. One, as Council President has stated earlier in the record, is transparency in data. And we've had significant staff turnover since COVID. people come and go. It's been significant in a lot of departments, especially Public Works. And so this is going to be very helpful for the public to, and even council, to find out who's there, where certain leaders are in the department, so that we know who to go to. Because the worst thing is to say, hey, call this person, and the line doesn't pick up because the person's not there. So thank you very much. I appreciate this, and I look forward to the administration really working with council, and let's actually get this website going. Once we pass this ordinance, which hopefully will pass tonight, we can get the website live, I would hope, within the next month or so. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I would also like to be added as a co-sponsor. Councilmember Fields.
Yes, I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor as well, please.
Councilmember Oliver, any final comments?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fields?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilman Mills?
Yes.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
10 yeas and 1 absent.
Declared adopted.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 22046, Agenda 0247, an ordinance to amend Chapter 36 of the City Code to regulate the aftermarket sale, purchase, and repair of automobile catalytic converters.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 36 of the City Code to regulate the aftermarket sale, purchase, and repair of automobile catalytic converters.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Yes, Mr. President, I move this be known for the first and second reading of the ordinance referred to the Community Development Urban Planning Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that it be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Mr. President, ordinance 0248, I'm going to hold it for this evening.
Okay, thank you.
Give me just a moment.
All right.
I want to be off from that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Harley.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Fields.
And tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
No items tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Field.
Mr. President, on behalf of Councilwoman Cabrera, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 22047, Agenda 0249, an ordinance to amend Chapter 4 of the City Code to impose civil fines on owners of vacant properties.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 4 of the City Code to impose civil fines on owners of vacant properties.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
And that's all I have tonight, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Mills.
Yes, Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 22074, Agenda 0250, whereas positive youth development is essential to children's social, psychological, and emotional skills as well as their academic performance. It is paramount to the health, safety, economic prosperity, and overall well-being of our youth, their families, and our city that young people know how to access community support at this critical stage of life. As residents increasingly rely on the internet for information about community resources, an online database for youth services can facilitate valuable connections between our city's youth and the organizations that serve their needs.
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that this resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by yea and nay vote on the question.
Yes, Mr. President. I just The goal is to create an online database for community-based programs in the city of Wilmington, so the city residents will be able to have greater access and be able to make the connection between things that are happening in our community and where to get the services from in the city. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Great piece. Councilman Johnson.
David, really, I wasn't able to participate in the committee hearing where this occurred, this was presented, but I guess my biggest question, and this is for the sponsor, is Parks Department, Parks Director, is he prepared to make this live? This is definitely a great idea. I just want to make sure we pass this. He's going to be able to implement this, similar to the city department chart we talked about earlier. I want to make sure that he is ready, and he is ready to get this live. So it's a question for the sponsor.
Just before the sponsor responds, are there any other comments from any other council members? Councilmember Oliver.
I just want to be added as a co-sponsor.
Councilmember Spadola.
Thank you. I definitely support the intent of it and will support it. My only question or concern is I could see this being started up by Parks, and then in 6 months from now it's not done well and it's forgotten about. I don't know if government is the best place to store this. I would imagine a scrappy young programmer who's crowdsourcing parks activities throughout the city might be a better bet. But we did just hire Melody as a deputy director, and she's coming from Reach Riverside, who was doing great things with technology. So I'm hopeful at the same time. But those are my comments.
Thank you. Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I too think this is a great piece of legislation, and most definitely something like this is needed. However, I'm just trying to understand how is this all coming together. I know that we're starting hopefully with Parks and Recs programs that the city of Wilmington hosts and sponsor, but it sounds like it's a very, very large task, and I'm just hoping that the right organizations and we have the right people connected so it can be effective. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we have information today that's out on the website. For an example, Civic Association information that is not current. So I'm just making a comment in terms of I think it's a wonderful ideal. I hope we have all the right people at the table to make sure that it's going to be effective when it rolls out, and that we will continue to keep it updated as needed, and it's not just a one and done. Great legislation, Councilmember Mills. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Fields.
Yes, I'd just like to make a statement, Mr. President. During that meeting that night, I think that we all had those questions about how this was going to work. And I know that when we spoke to the director, he had ensured that the first meeting would take place with IT to ensure that all the data that was collected from for Parks and Recreation and any other nonprofit organization that wanted to input their information, that they would be working on a database and analyzing everything that would be on that website, and it would be updated. Regularly. So I am confident and I am assured that this is not a one and done, and that this is not something that is a flyby. I have enough confidence in the director and the deputy director who is in total agreement of this, and they are they're excited about this. And I would have never co-sponsored if I didn't think that this is something that we need in the Department of Parks and Recreation. So with that being said, I just hope that we can get this going. We know it's not going to be something that's going to be done right away. However, there are steps that has to be taken, and we're going to take those steps, and we're going to make sure and ensure that this is taken care of. So that is my statement. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Excuse me. So yes, we did discuss this at Education to Families, and it was a very, very great conversation. I just want to state that Director Smith is well aware of the heavy lift that this is. He is not taking this lightly. I thank Councilman Mills for actually bringing this up. This is a great conversation that we had, and I was so glad that he was actually in the mindfulness to want this for the city. There are going to be a lot of moving parts, and he is aware. And I just believe that it is up to council for us to make certain that he has what he needs in order to get this done. This, Parks and Recreation is just a department here within the city, and they do not run the website, but they can definitely add to it. And if we would like to make certain it is the best that it can be, it is up to us to make certain that we make certain that we have those types of conversations with our administration, that it can look as we would like for it to look. So I just wanted to make certain that everyone is aware that we have had this conversation and they understand the type of process that this will take in order to get done. And we kind of gave them some deadlines. So I think it's going to take more than just people working in Parks and Recs to get this done.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
I want to be added as a co-sponsor as well. And again, this is a great first step, and I think part of this leads into the economic development of the city, where we don't have a central hub in Wilmington, whether it's parks with the youth. We have a problem connecting people to activities. So on the youth level, we have a problem. You know, we should have an app or something that families can go to, and hopefully one day that's created. But then on the young professional and adult side, we also have a problem connecting folks to activities or events that's happening in the city. So we definitely need to do better. So I appreciate Chairwoman McCoy with her committee, and Councilman Mills taking the lead, and hopefully we can at least see these strides in the youth segment. Thank you.
Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I want to state that I want to be added as a co-sponsor, and thank you to my council colleagues for the reassurance as it relates to their confidence and how this is going to be supported. And I also wanted to say, as this rolls out, whatever I can do, and I'm sure most of the council members share the same sentiments, that let us know. There's a number of youth organizations that I come in contact with on a regular basis, and I will be more than happy to help make those connections. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I do believe this will be a game changer in our city. And so many times we hear that parents and families and children just don't know what to do and where to go. So again, thank you, Councilman Mills, for bringing this to the forefront. Of course, on council, I think we have the responsibility to make sure that it's implemented, that it's updated, and that it's what we envision and what the community envisions. And I know, Councilman Mills, I'm going to give you final comments. I know a lot of the other council members probably took what you were going to say.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. President. Appreciate everything the colleagues have said.
Councilman Mills.
Just want to add into we spoke about creating a portal, and in that portal, neighborhood residents, people who are involved in running programs, even youth that participate in programs, will be able to get that information to the leaders of those programs and have that information inputted as well. So maybe a program going on in the schools, after school programs, a number of different programs that we just don't know about. And a lot of times they're doing different activities and the parents are looking for something to do. I just think that this is a great first step to be able to connect the dots, give our children the services that they need, that are already definitely the ones that are already being performed in our city, and also to be able to show us things that are lacking in our city, what we can do to create more services for our children. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fields?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilman Mills?
Yes.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
10 yeas and 1 absent.
Declared adopted. Councilmember Spadola.
Yes. Council President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 22048, Agenda 0251, an ordinance to expand eligible uses of community support grants made by City Council.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to expand eligible uses of community support grants made by City Council.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer to the Finance and Economic Development Committee. May continue, Councilman.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Ordinance 22032, Agenda 0211, an ordinance to amend Chapter 4 of the City Code to create a licensing fee payment structure for stationary engineers and firemen and to reduce the number of persons on the Board of Examining Engineers.
Mr. President, I have a substitute to present in lieu of that ordinance.
Substitute number 1 to ordinance number 22032 as amended, revision 1, Agenda 0211, an ordinance to amend Chapter 4 of the City Code to create payment structure for licensing fees for stationary engineers and firemen and to reduce the number of persons on the Board of Examining Engineers from 3 to 2.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the enacting clause of the substitute ordinance and call for a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the enacting clause of the substitute ordinance and called for a yea or nay vote on the question.
Thank you, Council President. This is a follow-up from our discussion about a month ago, which was a follow-up from a discussion about this from a couple months ago. So hopefully we can wrap this up. But just for those tuning in for the first time, originally this was presented as a housekeeping ordinance, and there was a lot of pushback from some people in the city who use use boilers and were concerned about what it might mean for them getting them insured. So this was a workaround in terms of, and also the point from the administration, which is well noted, is that the city is basically doing this for the entire state, and they don't view it as the role of the city, which I agree with. So what this does is this changes the fees for non-city residents. So it should at least be revenue neutral. It reduces the amount of people on the board from 3 to 2, and reduces the salary from $3,000 to $1,000 was how it came out, amended, I believe, at the after the last meeting. So, yes, Council President, happy to answer any questions.
Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. My question will be to the sponsor. Are we going to be able to find people to do this job for that amount if they are accustomed to a certain amount, going from $3,000 to $1,000? If this is a skilled profession?
So,
Yes, you may respond, Councilman Spadola. Thank you.
Councilwoman Harley, my understanding is that the board has been inactive for some time. And so I'm hoping that the people that were speaking about this will follow through and jump on the board themselves if they see the need for it.
Thank you.
And seeing no other hands raised, clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fields?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilman Mills?
Yes.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
10 yeas and 1 absent.
Declared adopted. Thank you, Councilman Spadola. Councilwoman McCoy, did you want to be excused?
Yes, please.
Yes, you may be excused. This time we'll move to petitions and communications. Councilmember Darby.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Really, I just want to say, I know we're going to do official recognition of Linda Gray, Councilmember Gray, but I just want to say it's been a sad week to lose another council person, and just remember everyone to check in on people's mental health, making sure you're taking care of yourself. And that's really all I have to say for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank everybody for the recognitions for the Storman's Classic Turkey Drive, which will be the final one, Bittersweet, next Tuesday. It's going to go to all the high rises. I'll let you talk more about it. But I'd just like to thank all the council members for that resolution. There's so much going on. I got a little headache, so I'm going to ask to be excused, Mr. President.
Yes, you may be excused. Thank you. Councilwoman Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I just have one announcement. As we all know, there's a lot going on in our communities and a lot of needs. And so I want to thank Christian Growth Ministries Community Development Center. I'm partnering with them to do a Thanksgiving meal on the east side. It's open for everyone on November the 23rd from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. In addition, we're going to have some take-home fresh groceries, and they're located at 850 North Church Street. And for more information, their contact number is 654-5588. And again, that is November the 23rd from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And the address is 850 North Church Street. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Fields.
Yes, I just have a few items. There will be a turkey drive this Saturday, November the 19th, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. At the Woodlawn Branch Library, given by Westside Groves this Saturday. And also, I would just like to extend a thank you to, bear with me for a moment, to Parks and Recreation, to the administration, to my colleagues for attending the 45th annual Frontline Trotter Senior Citizen Luncheon today. It was exciting to see the seniors there. They were appreciative. They enjoyed the food. And I would just like to thank Parks and Recreation for just doing an outstanding job and helping me organize everything. Even the staff, they came in and they volunteered. Even the administration staff, they came in and volunteered with the seniors today. So I know it's been a couple of years because of COVID. Well, the first time the William Hicks was being constructed on, then it was COVID, and I'm just picking this up. So from what my mother used to do. So again, I would like to thank everybody. I appreciate everybody. I hope I didn't forget anybody, but thank you so much. And thank you, Council President, for showing today. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I have my quotes. All right. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. Gratitude is a quality similar to electricity. It must be produced and discharged and used up in order to exist at all. William Faulkner. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. Melody Beatty. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman Fields. Councilman Johnson.
Yes. First, again, I would like to extend my condolences to the Gray family. Just shows the strength of her spirit, and also the strength of her husband's spirit to even be here today. Again, she definitely will be missed, and her knowledge of the court system and public safety is unparalleled. So I hope we carry on that work in her memory. We'd like to just thank everyone for supporting the Westside Small Business Saturday Flea Market events. We also combined it with the community cleanup last weekend, so thank you for those who came out, especially the small business community. It was the last one of the series for the fall, so we saved the best for last. It was a lot of good food, a lot of good people, and it was also looking forward to doing it again, hopefully in the spring. And it was nice to see an underutilized city lot be used. At 14 DuPont, a city lot had trash and mattresses and garbage, and it was actually cleaned up to do this event. So More is hopefully coming for that lot. Hopefully we can find a positive use for it. We'll be engaging community to figure that out. And also this upcoming Sunday, there's a volunteer appreciation luncheon at Unity Church from 1 to 2 p.m. on 2101 Lancaster. It's congratulating those who engage with the West Side, from the United Neighbors Project to the Small Business Saturday events to the community cleanups. Just saying thanks to those who help give back, as we have many well-connected members on the West Side. And then finally, in regards to health, many folks will be gathering for Thanksgiving, so Thanksgiving blessings to all. But we have to remember to get not only the COVID booster, but also flu shot. All local pharmacies, including Walgreens and CVS, offer it. It is free of charge. You may have to show insurance though, as I believe they try to bill insurance, but it is free. Please go get it. There's already been upticks. A lot of things are happening as we've been seeing. So please go get the flu shot, because the flu, RSV, and COVID are hitting strong this year. So please be safe out there.
Thank you. Councilman Field.
Yes, I also want to extend my condolences to the Gray family, and also some updates on items I've discussed with seniors recently in Lincoln Towers, Luther Towers, and Ingleside. Bus stops. Several seniors have requested either a new bus stop on Pennsylvania Avenue, or possibly putting some kind of roof over the benches on Pennsylvania Avenue to just make it more convenient for seniors riding the buses to do so. Because if it's snowing or if it's raining, right now, if you're waiting for a bus on Pennsylvania Avenue, it is not the most convenient situation in the world. And so I've been talking to Dart about how we can make things easier for those seniors in Lincoln and Luther and Ingleside when it comes to bus stops. And it is a complicated situation, and so we don't have an answer right away, but rest assured, to those seniors, I am working on it. The second point related to the seniors in and around Lincoln and Luther Towers and Ingleside is sidewalks around buildings. Many of those seniors, some of them are less mobile and they are in wheelchairs, and so if there are particular sidewalks that need to be fixed, please give me a call and we can get that on the list at 302-530-6626. And finally, another point that I've raised based on complaints from seniors in Lincoln Towers and Luther Towers and Ingleside is dealing with dangerous driving. There's been some complaints about people running stop signs or driving too fast. And I had a conversation with Captain Campos, and the police are paying extra attention to those intersections around those senior high rises, and we'll be looking at that closely. And so that's my update for today, and I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Councilman Mills.
Yes, Mr. President. Thank you. I too wanted to offer my condolences to the Gray family, and kind of piggybacking off what Mr. Gray said in reference to the at-large position stepping up and doing our part so the residents of the first district don't feel slighted right now. They don't have a representation. They actually have, the at-larges that they can reach out to. So please reach out to me, any resident of the first district or any other at-larges. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Spadola.
Thank you, Council President. Same offer from Al I extend to myself as well, anybody who from the first district, as they are mourning the loss of Councilwoman Gray, as we all are, and really keeping Harold in our thoughts. We were just at the Senior Ball 2 Sundays ago, and I didn't realize she was 73, and it came up in conversation because they said the oldest person at the table gets takes home the centerpiece, and then she said, "Do you know how old I am?" And I would have guessed early 60s, late 50s maybe, and she said 73. I was like, wow. But yeah, God bless. She will be missed. This Thanksgiving, let's keep that in mind with our families. We don't know when our turn is, so let's enjoy the time. Turn the phones off, disconnect, at least for that day. We can do it. And also, I want to congratulate Mona on surviving her first meeting with us as our new chief of staff. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And as was mentioned earlier, the official tribute for Councilwoman Gray will be at our next meeting on December the 1st at 6:30. So any community members, if you would like to make any comment, you will be welcome to do so then. Again, I just want to offer Harold and his family, her family, our condolences. I have no idea how he stood up and talked before us the way he did, but God bless him, and he's going to need all of us just to continue to wrap our arms around him moving forward. Again, her viewing will be on this Monday at the Chase Center. We are putting up the information now from 4 to 7, and her Mass of Christian Burial will be on Wednesday, November the 30th at 11 a.m. at St. Anne Roman Catholic Church. Again, just God bless you, Harold, and thank you for joining us this evening. And I'm sure he'll be back on December the 1st. On Monday, November 28th, we're going to have our committee of the whole meeting where we will interview and come up with a recommendation to fill the vacancy for Councilwoman Loretta Walsh, the at-large seat. That's going to be on Monday. I want to thank staff and the community for assisting me with my open door sessions. We had our second one a couple days ago, and it went very well. So I want to welcome anyone who would like to be a part of my open door session to join me at my next one, which would be on Thursday, December the 15th from 4 to 6 p.m. You know, if you're not able to make our council meetings or our committee meetings, this is the time for you just to talk one-on-one with me, and we can just talk about your concerns, your recommendations, however we can work together just to make our city better. Again, it's going to be right here in the City County Building on 8th and French Street. It's going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. up on the 9th floor in the council office. If you have any questions about that, you can call us at 576-2140. Or if you have any questions in general, please call us at 302-576-2140. Again, I would like to congratulate Mona and thank her. She just stepped in. I'm sure Marshall was thanking you also, Mona, for taking the load off of her. We also just want to remind, I just want to thank Marshall for the outstanding job that she did filling in until we brought Mona on board. Mona, you have done an outstanding job so far. So I want to thank all of council who supported her coming on as our chief of staff. I think that might be it. I want to wish everyone happy Thanksgiving. My birthday is November 27th. If anybody wants to call me, wish me happy birthday. Also, Councilman Johnson, we share a birthday, so give us both a shout out. On November 27th, I will be 37. I think he'll be in his 50s. He's definitely a lot older than me. But I want to thank everyone who joined us this evening virtually and in council chambers. Please continue to engage with us. Come down and give public comment. Come down and just be a part of the meeting. It's definitely a better feeling when we have our constituents here just giving us feedback, and we appreciate every public comment that we heard. So, and those of you who can only join virtually, please continue to do so, and please give public comment. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.